Community Pride on Las Vegas Now is sponsored by Findlay Automotive Group, Southwest Medical, part of Optum Care, Silver State Schools Credit Union, and NV Energy.
It is always a good time to discuss mental health and stress awareness. Rocky caught up with a doctor at Southwest Medical, the sponsors of this segment, to learn more.
Mental health and stress awareness is obviously a huge topic, especially nowadays. That issue continues to rise at all ages. What are you seeing out there?
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. And this is such an important topic where we see, mental health being talked about in the news. We see it in our friends, family members. Unfortunately, in the last few years, we've noticed certainly an increase in the mental health illnesses here at the clinic. Not just in Las Vegas, but I think this is happening all around the country. And again, it's because of a lot of the circumstances, it's becoming harder and harder to cope with a lot of these stressors that we experience nowadays, which is also adding to not the severity, but also more and more people are now experiencing these mental health issues.
For sure. Now, what are some of the signs that we should look out for in ourselves and in our loved ones, coworkers?
But some of the key things to look out for is in changes in your day-to-day habits. Are you sleeping more? Are you eating more? Are you sleeping less? Are you eating less? Those are some of the common things to look out for. Other things to notice would be if you're noticing that you have less energy to do things that you normally like to do. The other thing to also watch out for is if you're using substances like alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. If you use them frequently and now you're using a lot more of these substances to cope with your stress, that's also a sign that you may be experiencing some high levels of mental distress or distress. Trouble concentrating, for example, whether you're in school or at work or just day-to-day social lives, if you're having trouble concentrating and making decisions, that's also another sign. And the other sign would be if you have chronic medical conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, for example, and if you are having trouble maintaining good balance with your chronic medical conditions, that's also a sign that you may be undergoing lots of stress that needs to be addressed. Some of the other signs would be nightmares, or if you're having trouble sleeping, feeling of fear, anger, sadness, being worried all the time, feeling numb, emotionally numb, and feeling frustrated all the time. Those are also some of the signs to look out for. And the last thing I would say is look at some of the physical signs in the body. Are you having symptoms like headaches, for example, body aches all the time, stomach issues, where the foods that you used to be able to eat, okay, now all of a sudden causing stomach issues. Skin rashes is also another physical symptom that you can look out for.
What are some ways to manage that stress and anxiety?
These techniques, what we call them is relaxation techniques. What they do is they counteract the negative effects that stress has on the body, such as high blood pressures, high blood sugars, etc. And these things include deep breathing. Again, I think we've all heard of deep breathing exercises. These actually are very, very, very effective in managing stress, especially if you think you are having a panic attack or if you are in a situation that's very high anxiety driven situation. Again, try to step back and start taking deep breaths, and that usually does help get over the anxiety attack for the short duration. But also, doing deep breathing exercises on a regular basis also does have some long-term benefits in managing your stress and anxiety. And biofeedback is a second technique. Again, this is something that you should discuss with your primary care doctor or perhaps your mental health specialist as well. The last thing I would mention is progressive muscle relaxation. Again, making sure that we're doing some meditation, some mindfulness practices. If you are running into an issue where you can't get into your provider, you can't get help right away, feel free to call 988. It is again one-stop shop, and it's open 24 hours, 7 days a week, free and confidential, and they support again over 250 languages.
We want to thank Southwest Medical for being one of our Community's Pride sponsors.